Winning a championship is the ultimate goal in any sport. Not all players are fortunate enough to win a championship. These are some NBA players who had good careers but was not fortunate enough to win a championship. Not in any particular order, starting with Tracy McGrady, aka T-Mac, man. T-Mac was a scoring machine, man. He was a walking bucket. T-Mac went to the Toronto Raptors, where he played with his cousin Vince Carter. Didn't get many minutes, didn't get the minutes that he felt he deserved in Toronto. Played a few years there, and he was on to Orlando, where things just opened up for T-Mac, and you started to see the scoring ability of T-Mac. He led the NBA in scoring 2 years in a row, with the Orlando Magic. And at that time, you had Kobe, Shaq, Allen Iverson in the league, and T-Mac still led the league in scoring for 2 years in a row. T-Mac had the famous All-Star game dunk when he, got the ball off the backboard, threw it off the backboard, caught it himself, and dunked it, And T-Mac, unfortunately, injuries and things like that would get to T-Mac. He retired a little early, for a player of his magnitude. He said he wished he would have played with the Spurs a little earlier. He bounced around for a little bit, had a stint in Houston with the Rockets, played with Yao Ming, and then ended his career with the Spurs, But even though T-Mac, Tracy McGrady did not win a championship, he still had a great career, ended up making the Hall of Fame at the end of his career. So, didn't win a championship, wasn't fortunate enough, but he was fortunate enough to get him one of those jackets at the end of his career. So, paying homage to guys who had good careers, but just wasn't fortunate enough to win a championship, because sometimes guys get overlooked and people always want to talk about rings and things like that. But you still have to give credit to the guys, for the work that they put in. So T-Mac, salute. Next player, Allen Iverson, aka the answer. Big things come in small packages is what Allen Iverson is the definition of. Allen Iverson coming out of Georgetown, small guy, but not scared to go, to the rim. Iverson, you see him time and time again attacking the rim. Had a nice mid-range shot, and Allen Iverson took his team to the finals, man. Took that team to the finals, and they won a game in LA. Won the first game 1 in LA. And, after the game, Allen Iverson was famous for the line, no brooms. You could put those brooms away. People thought that that Lakers team, it was a strong team. Kobe, Shaq, and the boys, versus Allen Iverson. And Iverson went out there in LA and he delivered a game, man. He had a hell of a game. He put it all out there on display that game, man, to make sure that they got a game in there. And Allen Iverson, man, well, he was famous also for the crossover on Michael Jordan. People never seen that happen to Michael Jordan before, and Iverson put the move on him and things like that, man. Iverson changed, you could say he changed the game for in a lot of ways, with the braids and all the way. He definitely changed the dress code thing. He was one of the players, man, that come to the game in t-shirt, ball cap, jewelry on, just being him, just being him. And after that, NBA started putting the casual dress code in and things like that. So you could say Allen Iverson, man, trendsetter, changed the game in many facets, man. Crossover. We know what the crossover work was about. I mean, you hear it today. Whose crossover is better, his or Kyrie's? And his game, man, he was fearless. Shaq said it. A lot of people said it. Allen Iverson, man, for as small as he was, if he was a little taller, it would be lights out. But even at his size, he was still scoring, and he would dunk too. Allen Iverson catch you under the rim, man, he'll get you. So he never won a ring, but he came close, by going to the finals. Some players don't even get to the finals. The previous player, McGrady, never made it to the finals, so Allen Iverson did get close, winning a game in the finals against a good LA team, had the crossover on Michael Jordan and is just doing a bunch of things in the league for the size, feisty. Called him the answer for a reason, So if you go back and look at that team that he took to the finals, man, roster, probably if you put another player in Iverson's place, they probably don't make it to the finals that year, with another player. So that just says a lot about Allen Iverson and what he brought to the table, man. And that's why I said this video is basically paying homage to those guys. Some guys get overlooked because of the championships, but because of the lack of championships, not winning them, and their careers, get swept under the rug. But you got to give credit to where it's due. You got to pay homage to these guys, and ring or not, it's still an honor. And Allen Iverson is one of those guys as well. Didn't win a ring, came close, but he also got one of those jackets at the end of his career, which was a great career. So to Allen Iverson, salute. Next player, Charles Barkley, man. Charles Barkley wasn't that tall, but he was a hell of a rebounder, earning the nickname Round Mound of Rebound due to his size. And Charles Barkley was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, spent some time there, a lot of time there, but he's known for his days with the Phoenix Suns. That's when, he won his MVP there, and he came close to winning a championship with the Phoenix Suns. They had a nice team, him, Kevin Johnson, Danny Ainge, Marley, it was a nice Phoenix Suns team. Like I said, he won the MVP and things like that season, and him and a bunch of other players, man, just couldn't get over that mountain, man. The Michael Jordan hump, the Michael Jordan mountain. He couldn't get over it, but like I said, Charles Barkley, man, was a hell of a player, putting things together, and late in his career, on a quest to getting that ring, that championship, as all great players do. They try to get that ring at the end of their career, and Charles Barkley hooked up with Scottie Pippen and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon in Houston. They formed the three there. All the players, they're basically at the end of their careers. Scottie Pippen was already a champion, multiple times with the Chicago Bulls, so he had the championship pedigree and things like that. Hakeem the Dream, multiple champion himself, winning some rings, with those Rockets. So Charles Barkley himself was trying to join the club and get him at least one before, he retired to top off a great career. But unfortunately, Charles Barkley wasn't able to do that. But that doesn't take away, like I said, from a great career that Charles Barkley had. He had some battles with Shaq. Him and Shaq went at it. Shaq threw the ball at him, and they, had a little tussle and things like that, because Charles Barkley didn't play no games, man. He was an enforcer. He was aggressive, and he got buckets. That was the thing. Charles Barkley could score the ball, man. So he had a great career. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to win the championship, but at the end of his career, like the other players in this video, man, he was able to get one of those gold jackets, and you can't get one of those jackets without having a great career. So even though these guys don't win the championship, they still make it to a place that some guys with championships will never make it to. So Charles Barkley, unfortunately, didn't win a championship, but had a hell of a career, and having a great second career as an analyst. He's going to retire. So congrats on 2 great careers, great basketball player, when things he did on the court, and then as an analyst, man, he did things his way, didn't let him tell him what he could say. He said what he wanted, did it how he wanted, and he controlled his own destiny all the way down to the end. So salute to Charles Barkley on 2 great careers. Wish you the best in your retirement after announcing. Next player, Karl Malone, aka the Mailman. Karl Malone had a great career with the Utah Jazz, known for his pick and roll action with John Stockton. Karl Malone is still in the top 5 of all time scoring, points, and won an MVP. Karl Malone did come close to winning the NBA championship, made it to the finals, but like a lot of other players, man, just couldn't get over that mountain, man. Mount Jordan, couldn't get over it. And, Karl Malone had some battles with George's teammate as well, Dennis Rodman, man. Dennis Rodman liked to play mind games with Karl Malone, blowing kisses and things like that, and kind of getting in his head, throwing Malone off his game, because, when Malone is on, he's on. Scottie Pippen had a line for Malone as well, saying the mailman don't deliver on Sundays, referring to his nickname and things like that. But Malone was getting buckets. He was known for a post-up move. He had that post-up. That's back when the post was strong. Post-turn, rebounds. Malone did it all. Unfortunately, like other players on this list, he just wasn't able to win the championship. Made it to the championship, the finals, faced Michael Jordan, and that don't go well. And he still had a good career, like I said. Don't take away from Karl Malone being still in the top 5 in scoring. He's been retired for a long time. There's been a lot of players after, and things like that, and Malone is still holding his own on the points and things like that. Got him, like I said, got him an MVP. And Karl Malone, didn't win the championship with the Jazz. He didn't win it at all, but his quest didn't end with the Jazz though. He went to the Lakers, when he teamed up with Gary Payton, Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson was still the coach and things like that. So his quest continued, for a championship. All the greats, man, they want to get that ring at the end, man, just to put the cherry on top. They still great, and that's the purpose of the videos, just to, still pay homage to them, because the championship don't mean that you're not a great player. Some people may put players higher above others because, but me, I go by body of work, and these guys have great body of work, and they deserve the homage. You got to pay it. And one, Karl Malone, the mailman, is one as well. So, and even though, Karl Malone didn't get that championship, couldn't get over the hump, he too, got one of those jackets at the end of his career, solidifying a great career, because you can't get one of those jackets without having a great career. You can get a ring without having a great career, but you can't get a jacket without having a great career. So Karl Malone did some good things, like I said, with the pick and roll with Stockton, went at it with Dennis Rodman and things, try to team up with Kobe, Shaq, and Gary to get one, and just fell a little short, but still had a great career. So Karl Malone, salute.